Hey, here we go. We're going to try the test where we just cut and paste right from Regina's email or any formatted message. I'm a little concerned that like the attachment won't automatically go with it, but we'll see what happens. We will try and keep this as simple as possible. Don't be alarmed if you have to do 1 or 2 clicks, though. All right. Pretend you logged in. I've logged in as myself. I'm RJD-admin. I have admin rights, which means I can pretty much do anything inside the site. Most people would only need to have author rights to do what we're about to do, though. Okay, so first of all, once you've logged in, you're put on a dashboard, but along the left-hand side, there are pages. So I'm going to click on pages, and by doing so, it just goes to all pages anyway. There's a bunch of them, and you'll see if you scroll down, there's actually 4 pages of pages. So I'm going to instead search for something that might be familiar, such as, I think, construction, Georgetown, something like that. So I'm going to try construction just now. So there's a search box up here in the upper right. I just typed in construction. I'll search the pages. And so any pages with the word construction in it will show up. And sure enough, the very first one we see is the current Georgetown campus construction, which, as you might recall, if I click on it, it looks like this, and I showed you how you basically put it all in there manually. I was concerned about links not necessarily copying well and so on. And also this image, the old map, was updated or uploaded uniquely and then added to the particular page. I also put this little prefix on here too because I didn't want to quote it as if it was Regina directly writing that, especially when I fixed edits, like minor grammatical issues and so on. But I'm going to leave this page exactly as it is, and we're going to make a new page called Georgetown Campus Construction 2, just for the moment. We'll rename it later if once we see if it works well or not. So from pages, I would actually do an add new page. Right? And so rather than look at that Georgetown one, we see this one. By the way, I forgot to mention that one was a child of issues, which is a top level page. But here I'll do Georgetown. Oops. I don't remember. Campus construction, I think. Construction 2. Right? And I'm going to over here say that its parent is issues. And we'll see if we find issues, which I should. We'll see that there's a current Georgetown campus construction there. So I'm going to just say, and it's a child of issues. So I will do just that. Saving draft will update, for instance, it's what's known as here a permalink, which is the way it gets addressed in its URL. But anyway, we're in the visual side, right, which should be WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. I'm going to toggle over to my email, where I have Hewlett's message up, and it's the latest update from Regina, I believe. So I'm going to grab, what I'm doing is just selecting all the text and scrolling all the way down, including the image. And I'll even take both images, I guess. So let's see if it's just the one. I'll just do that. And if there's any extra junk in there at the end of it, we'll clean that up. But what I'm going to do is Command-C, which is on a Mac, a copy, which is the same as Control-C on a PC. If you want to be menu-bound, just edit, copy, right? That little symbol is Command on the Mac. But we're going to take that to copy the entire thing. Now I'm going to flip back into that editor, fingers crossed here, that we can just paste it and everything's going to work out. So Command-V is a paste, or probably there's a paste right there too, Command-V. All right, so it looks pretty good. I see what appears may be a link. Let's see if that's really a link or if it's unfortunately just, unfortunately it doesn't look like it's anything. So this is what I was concerned about, that, okay, the links disappeared. Yep, this link is good. That's because it's translating an email, so that's mailed to. That link worked. This link worked. This looks good. That looks good. So far, so good on these. I don't know what was going on the upper one. Maybe that was never a link. Let's see, attached map. Let's go back and check that. Check this in email. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like it was a real link here. Maybe it wasn't. It wasn't. It looked like one. I thought it was. And it actually isn't. It's just there kind of boldly. But anyway, so far, so good. Let's see if the image made it. Fingers crossed. no, but that's okay. You know, it's really not that big of a deal to do that. I mean, so far, if this makes you more comfortable to edit in this fashion and that looks okay to you, I don't think it looks that great. Lost the colors too. But, you know, at least the links actually stayed as links, and that's actually a pretty costly and time-consuming part. See, notice all these are like minor grammar things, right? Long-standing, world-class, no hyphens. The construction, that's probably arguable during the construction of medical law. That's pretty reasonable. World-class, construct a world-class with another hyphen. A new truck. Just checking all these things that are pointed out as grammatical problems. Yeah. Just lack of articles a lot of times. Utility work. Yeah, I think most of them are like unimportant and seem pretty reasonable. So just leave as is. So let me continue now. So that's good enough. If you could get that much done on a typical day, I'd be psyched. That would reduce my load quite a bit if everybody contributed at that level. So that's one thing to consider. The other is that when we get down here and we need the picture, right? So what I'm going to do is, this is going to go way off course, so you can shut this off now if it's going to freak you out. But I'm just going to come back here. I'm going to save this image just as save attachment. I selected it, right-clicked, control-clicked, whatever. Save attachment. So I can save this file, which is called terribly image 003. I'm in downloads here, so I'm just going to call it Georgetown Campus Construction Map as of 2019-06. Right. That should do it. Now I'm going to flip back here, and let's see, right around. I think we really don't care much about all these other things. Da, 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 da. I'm going to delete this stuff down here in just a second. But from here, I place my cursor basically where I'd like the image to be, which is toward the bottom. Add media, upload files, and all I've got to do now is select the file. So I remembered I saved it in downloads. So I'll just say date added with a picture, and there's my Georgetown campus construction map as of 2019-06. Open it. Notice it's quickly doing that. There it is. And I'll just say on the right-hand side it says insert into page, which I will. And there's our map. It's relatively small on the page, but you can click it's the clickable by default. So now I'm going to just come in here and delete all this other junk, including even that little, warning. But we're going to hopefully at the top, I'm going to go and copy that stuff from the other page and leave it on here. Now looking at this, like, yeesh, what font is that? I don't even know. It says it's paragraph font instead of like a heading font, so I'm going to just switch that to like a heading 2. That's fine. The spacing looks pretty ratty, so I'm just going to clean up a little bit here by deleting the extra lines. Again, this is the potential problem of cutting and pasting, is that nothing comes for free, so you do you're going from a very sophisticated editor like Word and then dropping into this kind of minor WYSIWYG editor. See? So what it appears to have done is just mostly, in many places, put two returns instead of one. That one's not going to happen, not at least the way it is now. We could format that. It would make it look a lot better, but I'm going to let that go. And I think that should do it. I'm going to go ahead and respond to all these little red underlines real quick. Oops. The pedestrian. Closure. Utility work. Pedestrians advised That's probably are advised to follow reasonable. Okay, then it goes away that way. New traffic thing. That looks good. Putting a new truck. Outstanding. World class. Construction. And world class again. I think that's it for the airs. Yeah, looking good. I do want to put that intro so that it doesn't just look like we published it. So I'm going to save this draft right now. And since that's fat and happy there, I'm just going to switch back to pages, the all pages. Type in construction. And there's our second one. There's our first one. I'm going to go into the first one. I'm going to take this text, which is really, now that we know that cutting and pasting, at least within this editor's piece of cake, it should work fine. So I grab that. There's actually a gray line in there too to separate it. Let me see if I can get that. Don't think so, but I can add that later. That's what the horizontal line is. So I just want to take this, not have the typing. Okay. Command C to copy. I'm going to delete this page. Nah, not just yet. I'm going to leave it be, but I'm going to rename this page because we're going to get rid of it. I'm just saving it like that. Update this one. Okay. And then go back to pages. This is kind of burdensome to search every time, but it's not so bad. Go to 2. Okay, first things, we're going to go ahead and hit return a couple times and then paste it in, which it's too big now because it's all heading 2. That's simply because I had heading 2 at the top. Well, I'll change it to paragraph font. It should be fine. Okay, the link's good. And I want to put in a horizontal line as well. So that's this guy. Now it's separated. Okay. So I think I get an extra date there. So I italicize that. Okay, so this looks pretty good, except I want to change this title to just construction. Save it. Hopefully it'll change the permalink name. It didn't. And that's, good enough for the moment. Since it's a child of issues, if we wanted to just check it, we could visit the site. So we say view page. It'll show it to us in context, so this is what it's going to look like. Remember, we kind of lost the colors. If you don't care, I don't care. That's the pasting. This is a part I don't really like. I'd probably go back in and do a little more fine-grained editing, and will. Just find a little intro. It should show up under issues here. You see the one construction. There's the one that's now old. We're going to delete that in a minute. And here's the new one. Since it has a -2 on the link, I'm going to get rid of that too by going back in and renaming it. So once again, this is another good cutoff if you're kind of tired of messing with it and overwhelmed. But if I edit this page, well, actually, let me go to the old one first, which I'm going to delete. So here's the old one with its color and all that. That's good. Pretty much looks the same otherwise. Actually, here's good formatted Regina contact data. I might wisely cut and paste that too if I get in there. So I'm going to edit this page. And I will. I'll take this and just save ourselves the effort for the other one. Command C again. And now what I'm going to do is just delete this entire page. That will also free up this permalink, this name, which doesn't have a 2 in it, when I delete that page. So I'm going to move this to trash. And that's gone. And now it took us to the main pages thing. Now when I search for construction, get only the Georgetown, this new one. And so now I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to come in and paste my cut buffer here. Oops. Everything's the same. Close enough. And then I'm going to come up here and just simply rename this so that if somebody else was actually saving that link from time and again, they would be able to not worry about having an obsolete link because the name changed. Another good reason. Once you have a page is kind of a static thing on a website versus like a post, which is kind of a transient. It's the idea is that it's transient. It's just as important, but it's very kind of in a thread if you think of it like a timing thing. But anyway, so this looks good. This looks good. I think everything's okay with me. I'm going to stop here, do that last update, view the site itself, view it in context. Again, it looks okay. It's not quite what the formatting that you could get, but everything seems to work, and it was fairly easy. I hope you think as well. All right. Anyway, that's it for now. Again, real how-to's coming, but I think this showed like, yeah, I think cutting and pasting might work. It didn't look like it lost anything, so there you go. This see attached map is unfortunate. Oh, by the way, we should check that. Click on this, and it does open the larger map. That's good. All right. Talk to you soon.